like, how much guidance would you give your kid as they grow up? Like, how hands-on would you be about, like, what they do in, like, their interests and hobbies? I feel like my parents weren't very, like, once I got to, like, probably, like, 12, 13, my parents weren't really, like, hands-on about my interests or, like, what I did.
I'll be semi-hands-on. You never want to be, like, the dad or the mom that's, like, completely controlling, like, how they train and how they practice. Like, that shit's annoying. I would definitely, like, give them some guidance, but I would obviously let them kind of do their own thing. I would show some interest in it so I know what's going on and try to, like, find ways to help them get better, but I wouldn't force anything upon them. Like, you should train this way, you should do it this way. I would just give them, like, little tips like, hey, maybe you should try this way or try it out this way and stuff like that. But
like, you wouldn't be like, you got to try out for a basketball team.
No, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Or you have to do a sport. Or you have to do this
I
club.
wouldn't do that either. I'd be like, hey, you want to try it? And if they're like, yeah, then all right. But if they don't, then they don't.
Is there ever a point where you would step in, say, like, they're not really doing anything or they're doing too much? Like, if your kid, if all they do is, like, I don't know, binge watch TV shows or, like, I don't know, they just play video games.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that, for me, I feel like I would feel hypocritical because there was a lot of days where we were just playing video games.
Yeah, same. So I'm just playing video games. I'm not doing shit else.
It's probably be different for us, I guess, because we still play video games. I assume if we had kids, we would still be playing. So we could probably still be involved in that culture with them. But, like,
well, my dad still plays video games.
Yeah. My dad doesn't play video games. I tried to get him into them a little bit, but my parents don't really do that. But, like, would there ever be a point where you step in where you're like, you know, they're not really getting much, like, real life social activity? I feel like I would try to take them out sometimes if they don't really go out.
I mean, I would want them to get some kind of physical activity. Now, socially, I mean, we play games like, dude, I met you on a fucking video game, and now we're doing a podcast. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you can
12 years ago.
Yeah. So, like, I understand that you can make friends online. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you still need real life friends though.
Yeah, which I'm sure, like, no, I don't think anybody just, I mean, there's some people, but I wouldn't force them to necessarily, like, socialize outside of the game. Like, if you have friends online, that's cool. Obviously, it would be good to also have friends in real life. But I mean, as long as you're not like hurting anybody, you have a friend group and you're active, like, you're not getting fat and, like, it's like hurting your health and you're not socially awkward, then yeah, it's fine. But if I know my kid's socially awkward, then I would try to, like, make ways for him to interact with people to get him to not be awkward. But I wouldn't force it. I would try to do it organically. But yeah.
So that's where you would step in. Like, how would you make sure your kid doesn't get fat?
I'd be like, all right, bro, you getting a little chunky. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Gotta either, I mean, realistically, if a kid gets fat, it's on the parents because you're literally like, you're their way of getting food. So if they're getting fat, it's because you're giving them too much food and they're not doing enough activity. So either you can cut down the amount of food they eat. Now, I wouldn't be like, nah, you can't eat.
Yeah, are you gonna count their calories? I feel like you can eat this much and then this much.
I mean, I wouldn't, like, count their calories strictly, but I definitely would try to make sure that they're intaking a good amount of calories. Like, they're not overeating and they're not undereating. Like, they're eating a healthy amount for their age and their weight. And then also, I would also try to get them to be able to exert some kind of physical activities and, you know, exercise a little bit. Like, you don't got to exercise every day and you don't got to eat, like, strictly the same stuff every day. Like, but it should be some kind of, you know, happy medium. Like, some days you might eat a little bit more, some days you might eat a little bit less. But you're not just going to be eating crazy amounts of food every day and you're not doing anything. That doesn't make any sense. You're just eating to eat because you're not hungry. You shouldn't be hungry. Because, like, if you're not moving, you're not exerting any, you know, like, force or effort or anything, you shouldn't be hungry. Like, I could literally go the whole day without eating if I don't do anything. Because my body, I'm not going to get hungry. I might get, like, slightly hungry, but I'm not going to get hungry to the point where I got to eat a whole bunch of food. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I've literally been on a game some days and I haven't eaten anything.
Same.
Like, I don't get hungry. I'm just on the game, just chilling. And then also, you got to make it fun. Like, exercise should be fun. That's the biggest thing. If exercise isn't fun, obviously they don't want to move if it's not fun. But if they're active at a young age, then they'll carry on. And, like, I work out, so I probably would take my kid to the gym, but I wouldn't, like, force them to do certain stuff. Like, I wouldn't be super hard on them the first day in the gym. I would build it up, you know, like, gradually, and then, you know, it'll just be natural because, like, he's been doing it since he was younger, and it's just like a routine kind of thing.
Yeah. One thing I'll do that I wish my parents did is get my kid in the gym early on and make it like fun as well. Make working out more fun and not like a chore.
Yeah.
All right. Our last show